Hello and welcome to another AM language live lesson. It's 4 o'clock. The weather's lovely. My hair doesn't look ridiculous anymore because I went to have a haircut and that solved most of the problems. And so we can begin, which is lovely. Let me know who's watching. Today we're going to be looking at time clauses. So we'll have a good look at that. I'm just going to share the video today and therefore we can begin. Evelina says, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Evelina. Welcome to today's lesson. Okay, I'm just going to... Okay, right. I'm just going to share the lesson. By the way, guys, Irina says hello. Hello, Irina. Welcome to today's lesson. By the way, guys, don't forget that today, if you look at our YouTube, you will see that we have uploaded another video. It is part 2 on nature. Now, this is ideal for upper intermediate students, but even if you're not an upper intermediate student, still go and have a look at the video. You might still be able to, there might still be something for you. It's on narrative tenses and it's inspired by outcomes. Good afternoon, Leondina. Welcome to the lesson. Irina as well. Paolo, I saw your message. I think it was you who asked whether these live lessons are going to continue into the summer. The answer is yes. That is the idea. That certainly is the intention. I would like to try and continue these lessons into the summer as well. Even as lockdown in Malta begins to, we're no longer in the same situation as we were 3 months ago. Because of what we have started, I think it's a good idea that we do continue these live lessons. There's, in terms of coming back to class and everything else, there's still a lot of challenges that we as a school have to face. So I think it's a good idea that we do try to continue these live lessons, and we'll see. We'll obviously, if people enjoy these live lessons and it's benefiting, it's helping people, it's helping students, then we might as well continue. I mean, over the course now, I don't know how many lessons actually, live lessons I've done now, or we've done, should I say, but we've done quite a lot. And like I said, we're now in a position where we can start uploading shorter videos of like just 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And there's going to be lots of videos for everyone. So last week or the week before, we uploaded videos for upper intermediates. This week we're looking at, 2 weeks ago we did pre-intermediates. This week we're looking at upper intermediates. The next one is probably going to be, I think, intermediates, and then there's elementary, and then we'll go through the cycle again. Liaz Medeiros says, hi from Brazil. Hi. I apologize. I probably got your name wrong. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It looks a bit French with the L-A-I-S, Lais, but I'm probably wrong. And Sandra as well. Hello, welcome to the lesson. Welcome to today's lesson. So yes, today we are going to be looking at time clauses. Time clauses, believe it or not, there's a little bit of prepositions involved here, but not every time clause involves a preposition either. We are specifically going to be looking at the likes of when, for example. So when, after, before, and until, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to check what I put. I think it's those 4 particular ones that we're going to look at. And with that, we're going to see just exactly, yes, when, after, until, and before. That's what we're going to look at today. As always, we're going to start off slowly, and then we're going to slowly make things a bit more difficult as we go along. Now, the thing about time clauses and why they are important is you could be writing a present simple, for example, but the time you are talking about is not the present simple. It's actually a time in the future, for example. And these things make a really big difference. So let's start off with a nice little example to start us off for today. So let's first of all look at when. We'll look at the grammar and we will look at the time clause in here. So the first one is, I'll come home when I finish work. I'll come home when I finish work. Now, when I finish work, okay, is the time clause. This is because I'm saying that this action of coming home will happen after I finish work. So we are saying with this time clause when the future action will happen. That is why we are using the time clause. Now you will see at the start of the sentence that I've got I'll, okay, which is short for I will. So this is a future simple, and what we're doing here is we've got a future simple with a time clause that tells us when a future action will happen. Okay, so in this case, we've got future simple plus future time clause. And that is an example. Another example of this would be, I'll call you when I'll call you when I finish, or actually, let's make it about travel. I'll call you when I arrive at the station, for example. This is another very typical example. You are traveling to see someone and you're telling them that when you arrive at a place, you will call them. So I'll call you when I arrive at the station. Okay. Now you might ask, can we change things around? Can we change things around? And the answer is yes, you can do. You can say, for instance, when I arrive at the station, I'll call you. When I finish work, I'll come home. So you can flip. Flip means switch. Okay, so you can change the position of the time clause. You can put it at the beginning or you can put it at the end. The important thing to know is if you need a comma. So if you go with time clause, if you start with a time clause, you then need a comma, then your futures plus comma plus future simple. If you do it the other way around, you don't need a comma. It's just future simple plus time clause. So that's the way it works. And that's our first example. Feel free to try and create your own sentence with your future time clause, and then we will continue. We're first just going to go through an example of each type of time clause that we're going to look at, but at the end of the lesson, we're going to have a little bit of a challenge whether we know which type of time clause we need to use. And that will be an exercise that you guys will get to do at the end of the lesson. So this is just the first one, using when in a time clause. And of course, in this case, this is a future time clause. Travel is always a good one. I think, to be honest with you, we use time clauses a lot when we're talking about travel, or when we are going to get round to doing certain things, for example. So this is something that we can do on a daily basis. Another example would be, you'll notice, by the way, I'm using the positive, not the negative form of the future simple. It's always I will or I'll. Can I think of a negative one? I suppose you could say, don't tell, won't tell her when she comes home. Nah, it doesn't really work as well with a negative. I mean, you probably can do, but it sounds a bit odd. Leondina says, "I'll go to the beach when I finish work." Yes, that's a great example. That's exactly what we're looking at. Good stuff. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay. Alejandra says, hello, Alejandra. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. We're looking at time clauses. Not to worry, Alejandra. We are just looking at time clauses. We've just looked at when. So now we're going to look at until. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. The next one. You must wait here until your father comes. Okay, so this is the first example. Now here we're using until. Now, this is a present simple. Plus, again, it's a future time clause, really, when we're looking at it. Because in this case, we are saying this action will continue until this point in the future. It's the same thing as saying you will be in lockdown until the coronavirus has been killed, for example. You will be at home until it is safe to go out. These are just more examples. Oh, wait a minute. I just used will. I was supposed to use, let's change all of that. Okay. So you must, for example, you must be in lockdown until it is safe to go out, for example. Sorry. So this is another example. This case, we are using until. So this action will happen until this point in the future. You can see that we don't know when. We're not saying when this point is specifically, but it's a general idea. It's like, for instance, you must rest until the doctor tells you tells you that until the doctor tells you until the doctor says so. That's probably a better one. Okay, so you must rest until the doctor says so, for example. So you must rest, and in the future, when the doctor tells you you're okay, then you can start to do what you want to do, really. So until is a very useful one. Again, we're not giving a specific idea in the future, but we are giving a general idea in terms of how long an action will happen until a certain point in the future. Another example, this would be when traveling. For instance, you have to stay on the plane until the pilot tells you otherwise. Now, I'm just going to introduce this word otherwise. If you say you have to stay on the plane until the pilot tells you otherwise, otherwise means saying the opposite to what you said. Okay? It's saying the opposite. So if you have to stay, if we're saying you have to stay on the plane until the pilot tells you otherwise. Wait a minute. I wrote that really badly. I've just realized. Remove. You have to stay on the plane until the pilot tells you otherwise. He's telling you to stay on the plane, and until he tells you otherwise, meaning he tells you something different, you can't leave the plane. And that's what we mean by otherwise. Leondina says you must study until you pass the exam. Yes, Leondina, that's a good example. Sandra says you must finish your homework until lunchtime. You must finish your homework. You must, it's not so much finish. You must finish your homework. That would be a different type of time clause. Sandra, that's actually one that we're going to do in the coming up. That would be a time clause of you must finish, because you're using finish meaning ending in this case. This is something like a homework. I'm going to just write you two examples as to why, okay? You must finish your homework before lunch. You must here I'm going to change the word. You must study until lunch. Notice there's a slight difference when you are saying in this case, because homework finish has the meaning of completion, like a homework that needs to be completed. So it sounds like you need to do this, and if you're going to do this, you need it done, finished before a time in the future. It's not the same as saying you are going to stay here until a time in the future, which is an action that can continue going on and on and on. This action needs to be finished. It's a little bit different. So here's the difference here. You've got, notice I've used a different word to homework as well, just slightly. So this is a really slight difference. You must finish your homework before lunch. By lunchtime, it needs to be finished. You must study until lunch. This means that you can study and you need to study until lunch, but you can continue studying after lunch as well, because you might not have finished your homework. So it's a little bit different, but I can see what you're going for there, Sandra. What we'll do is we'll end up having a little few, you've given me an idea of an exercise, because that can be an easy one to confuse. So we'll come back to that one later. So thank you very much, Sandra. We'll come back to that one later on the lesson with more exercises. Alejandro says, can I say, I would like that you cut my hair until shoulders. Okay. Can you cut my hair? Close. You're probably more likely to say, for instance, can you cut my hair down to, can you cut my hair at shoulder length? If I'm being honest, this is the more likely thing that we're going to say. Can you cut my hair at shoulder length? My hair, I mean, until is usually used with time rather than a length of something like hair. I think it's a very good question though, Alejandra. So thank you very much for asking. But yeah, until we're here, we're just looking at time clauses rather than a length, which is what your example was getting at. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what, let's look at after, and then we'll look at before, and then we've looked at the ones that we're going to look at. Okay. Evelina says, you have to stay in class until the lesson ends. Yes, that's a good example, because the class can go on for quite some time. Maybe the class will continue, but at some point it's going to end. Next one. Okay, so they are coming after they have had dinner. Okay, so they are coming. So now this is a present continuous. They are coming. So present continuous plus after. So now we're saying after an action has been completed. So an action has now been completed in the future, or will be completed in the future, plus they have dinner. Another example, they are joining us after the film. So they're watching a film in the cinema, maybe, and when that film finishes, whenever that will be, they will come. They will join us. They are going to Greece after their exams. So here is another example. When they finish their exams, they will go to Greece. That's what we're really saying. Have a go at using after, then we'll look at before, and then we'll start looking at the comparisons of, can we tell which one we need to use depending on the meaning of and the context of the sentence. And the context is the one that's probably going to be a little bit difficult, but have a go at using after. Again, guys, can you swap them about? Yes, you can say after their exams, comma, they are going to Greece. You can see the difference here. Again, like I said at the start, towards the beginning of today's lesson, if you use a time clause at the beginning of a sentence, then you need a comma. If you use it after the main clause, you don't need a comma. And that's just a small little difference, really. Okay. Let's see if you guys can come up with your own examples. In the meantime, I will write another example. I am going to play football after work. There's another example. I'm going to play football after work. I'm using the present continuous plus my time clause. Leodina says she's having a shower after she has gone running. She's going to have a shower. That's the only difference there. She's having a shower after. You could say this. Okay, you've got two options. This is partly because you've used the present perfect as well. So option one, she's going to have a shower after she's gone running. Okay, option one. Option two, she's having a shower after her run. You can see the difference here. This is because in the first one, we can see the present perfect after the preposition after, okay? So if you use the preposition after and then you use a present perfect, the first one you need to change to she's going to have a shower after she's gone running. That would make sense. But if you use she's having a shower after her run, you need to then put a present simple. It's a really small little difference. And okay, the meaning is going to be very similar. You can still understand the same meaning, but from a grammatical point of view, it does make a difference. So think very carefully there. So you've got the structure, you've got present continuous with going to, that's after, plus present perfect. Okay, that works. Or present continuous, just a normal one, not with going to. Present continuous plus after plus present simple. So there's a slight difference there. Sandra says, I'm going to the cinema after school. Perfect sentence, Sandra. Well done. Irina says, after sunset, there will be a dawn and so on until the end of the world. Well, Irina, thank you very much. I mean, I'm impressed that you managed to put more than one time clause in there. There's just one thing. After, because you started now, don't forget, you started with a time clause. So after sunset, comma, there will be. Okay? Just don't forget about that. But really good stuff. Well done, guys. Now, let's look at before. Okay. Evelina says, I go a walk after having dinner. Oh, really close. You've got a choice here. You've got, okay, option one, present continuous. I'm going for a walk after having, you probably don't need having. You can just go for dinner, after dinner. I am walking after dinner. I'll go for a walk after dinner. So you've got a few options. The only one that you can't use in this case with after is going to be just a present simple in this case. You can't really use the present simple before. It's not going to work. Okay, let's look at now before. So, before the first lesson begins, I want to talk to you. Okay, now this is, what have we used here? We've got the time clause using before plus present simple. Can we, and if we write it the other way around, I want to talk to you before the first lesson. Okay, now we are talking about, we are using a present simple and a future time clause to talk about a point in the future before something happens. Okay, so this is now has a different meaning to after. Now, because I'm using before, it's easier to use a present simple. So present simple plus before and the rest of your time clause. Okay. Another example is I want to go on holiday before I start my new job. And that's another example. Going back to an earlier point, okay, I need to finish work. I need to finish work before 8 p.m. For example, this needs to be done by. I mean, I think this is the thing. When you use, I think this is an important thing. When you say finish, now you're setting what we call, you're setting a clear deadline. Meaning, in all of the other cases, you're saying an action will be done before a certain point. Okay? But finished is it has a slightly different meaning in the sense that this is now a clear deadline. This is when you're talking about something that needs to be completed. That's not just a situation. It's a specific action. It's a specific project. It's the same as saying, I need to finish. I need to finish training before I can what am I doing? Training. There we go. Before I can compete. Before I can join the team, for example. It's like there's like a clear progression involved. We use it specifically for things like something that is gradable, like homework, graduation, projects. So this isn't a general state of I'm waiting in the room, for example, or I'm going to be on the plane for a certain amount of time. This is, we're using finished with a very specific grade, something that is gradable. You can measure, like homework, like graduation, like projects. This goes back to an earlier thing, confusion between until. So I'm going to give you another example. I will be in Malta until I'm told, yeah, I will be in Malta until the end, let's see, until my contract ends in winter, for example, okay? I will be in Malta until my contract ends in winter. I'm not talking about a project. I'm not talking about homework. This is a general state of living or being. Now, see the difference. I have to finish this project before the weekend. You can see that the modal verb is different. In the first one with until, I've used the modal verb will. I've just used the general future simple. With before, I've used the present simple. I've used the word finish, but look at the word that comes before. I've used have to or must. So this is an obligation. And that's a really important one. If there's an obligation, then that's probably going to mean that we might need to use before. Before I start my own business, I want to talk with my bank to order a credit. Yeah, I think most of that actually works, to be honest, Sandra. Before I start my own business, yes, you just need a comma after business because you've started with a time clause. But yeah, before I start my own business, I want to talk with my bank to, I would say, instead of to order credit, the more accurate term would be to arrange credit. To arrange credit. That would be the correct term to use with a bank. I'm just saying because with a bank, you need to arrange credit rather than order. There's a slightly different meaning. It's not like you're ordering a product, but you need to arrange credit. You need to have credit. So I would say arrange is the more accurate term. But other than that, Sandra, it's a very good sentence. Alejandro says, I want swimming before I go to the party. You're really close. In this case, you need to go with, here what's happened is, Sandra, you've got confused between going with the present simple and present continuous, and you sort of fell into the middle gap. So I want to swim before I go to the party, or I'm going swimming, because you can do, before going to the party. You can see here that if I'm going to use present simple at the beginning, before present simple. If I'm going to use continuous, I need to continue with the ing form. That is important, by the way. So it's either present simple plus before plus present simple. That's not going to change. Or present continuous plus before plus continuous again. Okay, so that doesn't change. You still need the ing form. Continuous. Okay, guys. So we've now looked at our 4 different time clauses, and we can see we're all talking about some point in the future. I'm now going to write some sentences, and I would like you to choose between the 4 options. You've got when, until, after, and before. Those are your choices. Let's see if you guys can put the correct one. So this is number 1. I'll live here. My apartment is ready. What do you guys think? Is it when? Is it until? Is it after? Is it before? If you're not sure, say it aloud. I'll live here when my apartment is ready. Okay. I'll live here until my apartment is ready. I'll live here after my apartment is ready. I'll live here before my apartment is ready. I'll live here after my apartment is ready. Okay, I'm going to make something absolutely clear because I can see where the confusion might be, okay? Here and here is one apartment. My apartment is a different apartment. So we're talking about 2 different apartments, okay? Now, you might have more than one option, granted, but just to make absolutely clear, we are talking about 2 apartments, not 1 apartment here. So I'll live here. My apartment is ready. I'll live here. Okay, so Sandra says before. I'll live here before my apartment is ready. It makes sense. Do you guys agree? Until, before. Okay, if you put before, you can give yourself half a mark. It does make a little bit of sense. However, the correct answer here that I had in mind was until. I will live here until my apartment is ready, meaning when my apartment is ready, I will go and live in that apartment. Now, does it have a similar meaning if you use before? Yes, it does in this case. However, you will see that with the examples I gave above, if I'm going to use the will, for example, I'm probably going to use until. If I wrote with the present simple, then I might be going for before. But you can give yourself half a mark if you've used before, because the meaning is still going to be clear. But the correct answer technically here would have been until. Let's go again. Okay. I must finish this project the 20th of March. What do you guys think? What is the correct answer? I must finish this project. Okay, so Leondina has come in with before. Does everyone else agree with Leondina? Is Leondina correct? Alejandra agrees. Irana agrees. Yes, well done. You are all correct. Yes, it is indeed before. Let's go again. We'll come and join you dinner. I should point out here for a little bit of context, you've got 2 actions. You got action 1 plus your time clause plus action, which involves action 2. So there are 2 actions, okay? Action 2, okay? Okay, so Irina and Sandra have come in with after and after. Okay, do we have a third or fourth? Yes, after. Okay, good. Well done, guys. Yes, this is the correct answer. In this case, it's going to be after. Well done. Okay, let's go again. Yeah, let's go again. Leondina says after as well. We'll come and join you after dinner. Good. Okay, everyone got that one right. I'll see you. Come back. I come back. Okay, guys, think really carefully about this one. We're saying that this action is going to happen in the future. Okay, Sandra has come in with when straight away. Maybe the person is going on holiday and they're saying that, you know, okay, another when. I'll see you until I come back. Okay, so we've got 2 whens and 1 until. I think let's see what we come out with. When. Okay, guys, the correct answer here is when. I will see you when I come back. So when I come back, I will see you. That's the clause. I think the one that's probably caused most difficulties today is maybe until. So let's have a little look. I must wait here. The nurse tells me I can see him. So here we're talking about a state, a situation that's going to continue a point in the future. And this happens as a result of the nurse. Okay, we've come in with until. Well done, guys. Yes, this is until. Let's go again. I will travel. I find a place I can see myself living in. Now, in this one, there can only be one answer. Let's see what you go with. So in this case, I haven't used must. We've used the future simple, but let's see if you guys can work this one out. If you guys do get this one right, then we all have to like the video because this is going to be probably the hardest one. I'll travel after I find a place I can see myself living in. Okay, granted, that does make sense. It wasn't the answer I was thinking of, but it does make sense in a context. Leondina says until. Okay, so Sandra, you can give yourself half a mark. Leondina, you've gone with until. Laiz Medeiros says until as well. Irina says after. Evelina says after. Okay, guys, if you have gone with after, give yourself half a point. If you've gone with until, give yourself a full point. So I will travel after I find a place I can see myself living in. Does make sense. However, the answer that I had in mind is until. I will travel until I find a place I can see myself living in. When you say it aloud, you can see why. It has quite a bit of meaning. Okay. Overall, guys, really well done. I think you've all done a fantastic job today. Time clauses can be annoying. But make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new and share as well. And don't forget, we are now uploading new videos as much as possible. Richard, is possible that this YouTube lesson follow on July maybe is a good form, but the foreign people know the school? Ah, I see what you mean. Will this continue in July, even though things might be returning to normal? Maybe you will have lessons in a more normal way. I can say, Alejandra, Paulo, I think it was Paulo who asked me this question as well. Yes, the idea is that we are going to try and continue the daily live lessons throughout summer. We've started, and I think it's a good idea if we do continue. There's still a lot of difficulties that we have to face with coronavirus. So I think it's a good idea for us to continue the live lessons. So I will be continuing the live lessons in July and August as well. Don't forget, guys. So 2 weeks ago, we uploaded 3 videos for pre-intermediates. This week, we're uploading 3 videos for upper intermediates on nature, unit 7. It's related to that. The next one we're going to upload is either tomorrow or Friday, but it will be done before the weekend. After that, then we're going to look at elementary and intermediate, and then we'll start the cycle again. So we are making short little videos for you guys on YouTube that will be just 2-3 minutes in length, and these videos are really good as well, that can definitely help you with other aspects of language that you will be learning in class anyway. As for the live lessons, guys, as always, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for commenting in the live chat. I'm very happy to see that all of you are enjoying these these live lessons. Yes, Alejandra, you are welcome to share the videos, the live ones or the short ones. I would say, Alejandra, and to everyone else, with the short videos, those are probably the best videos to share, maybe with classmates or people thinking about learning English, because they are supposed to show you guys what you can learn in class. At the moment, we know that you can't have the full experience. So with YouTube, we are trying and give you an online experience, really. So yeah, so Alejandra, to answer your question, yes, that is the idea. We are going to try and continue. I'm glad you're happy. Evelina, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sandra. Leondina, thank you also for the short videos. You're welcome. You're welcome. They take a bit of time to make. That's for sure. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time in the afternoon, at 4 o'clock, as always. Just to remind myself, yes, tomorrow we're going to look at idioms. Develop my expressions. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to look at idioms and expressions, phrases that we can use to help explain ourselves. You're welcome, everyone. So a big thank you. I mean, today we had a lot of people in the live chat section. To all of you who have commented in the live chat section today, thank you very much. Thank you for liking. Please share the channel, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Enjoy the sun. Have a great afternoon, and bye for now.